The principle of Sabbath rest. So as we begin, it needs to be understood that when we're talking about the principle of Sabbath rest, we're not just talking about the 7-day Sabbath experience, Friday evening to Sabbath evening at sunset. We're talking about a 24/7 experience of rest and trusting in the Lord. And what that does for us is that it decentralizes self. It puts God in control, and it allows God to stay in control. You see, the thing is, as you'll hear in the song at the end, many Christians are fond of saying God is in control, meaning God is in control arbitrarily. But God is in control of the skies, the seas, nature, and so forth. But as far as people, we allow God to be in control. That's why you will have scriptures that tells us to let this mind be in you and to walk this way and so on and so forth. It is because we have to give God permission, because there's things that we know that we cannot do on our own, and we must surrender. But there are things that we don't know that we can't do on our own, and we are fooled by self into thinking that we need to take charge of this, that, and the other. For instance, when situations rise up that we did not foresee coming, oftentimes if we are not allowing God to be in control, it actually takes us out of our character, and we want to handle it our own way. Think Peter with his sword. This principle of Sabbath rest, as you've seen in the intro, allows God to be our plan maker, our burden bearer, and our problem solver. Entering into God's rest means that we cease from our own works and allow God to work in us according to his good pleasure. It is God, the Bible says, that works in you both to will and to do according to his good pleasure. That is why we need to learn how to surrender. The Bible also says there in the same Philippians that God is the author and the finisher of our faith. Do I trust him? Do I trust him? My beloved, if we learn to live in this experience 24/7, allowing God to be in control, cease from our own workings, as the Bible says in Matthew 11:29, you will indeed find rest to your souls. So I want to encourage you from this day going forward to allow the principle of God's Sabbath rest to be your rest, and that you will enter into his rest. May God bless you abundantly. For more information, please click on the link in the description. See you real soon.